Here's an excerpt from a book titled, I believe, Demon Dance on Goat Mountain, which is about the Katyn Forest massacre by the Jewish Bolsheviks. And it was written in 1943, I believe, by the Dutch SS. And I'm going to read the entire book on a separate video, but I thought this was interesting, this little blurb here. And it said the so-called dissolution of the Third International is the last and most brazen Jewish Bolshevik swindle to pull the wool over the eyes of the people. Under the pressure of the ever-increasing anti-Bolshevik and anti-Jewish sentiment among all nations, Roosevelt and Churchill, as exponents of capitalist Jewry, advised Stalin to commit this typically Jewish deceptive maneuver, right? And they were all Jews. Um, anyway, continuing, the trick so often used by the Bolsheviks should make Roosevelt and Churchill's offer to Stalin to give him a free hand in Europe acceptable to the American and English people. Right there, that's why they did it, or pretended to do it. The true political intentions of Roosevelt and Stalin have never been more clearly revealed than by now suddenly presenting Bolshevism to the people in a sheep's skin. The fact that the declaration published in Moscow also bears the signatures of communist evangelists from those countries long since liberated from Bolshevism makes this deception an all too simple speculation on human stupidity. So, and then under that, from the Digital Jew, was trying to get it to admit that the Bolsheviks were just for world conquest, which of course the Digital Jew is dancing around and wouldn't give a firm answer. But basically, the Comintern, which is just the Third International, pursued a form of world conquest, as if world conquest has different forms. Whatever form you want to claim it is, at the end of the day, it's world conquest. Um, and they did say you can go. I've read from articles and books about them mentioning they wanted world revolution. Of course, liberation of the proletariat, which is nonsense. It was just liberation of the Jew and overthrow of capitalism. And remember, capitalism is Jewish as well, so it was just the other side of Bolshevism is really what it was. They controlled both sides, and they squeezed everybody in the middle. It said, but in practical terms, it amounted to coordinated attempts to overthrow sovereign governments, which obviously that's all it was doing. Export of armed revolution, yep, I mean, everywhere. Um, and establishment of one party regimes, of course, just a bunch of Jews. So, um, and then it says this ideological expansionism resembled imperialism under another name, which imperialism was also Jewish. It says just not driven by nationalism or economic plunder, but by doctrinal conquest. So is the digital Jew trying to pretend that that makes it better? And that's also not true because the world conquest by the Third International was driven by nationalism, right? Jewish satanic nationalism, and it was driven by economic plunder, right? Because they were all the bankers and owned and controlled most of the large businesses, even back then, as we see today. So, yeah, it says the common terms for the Third International's global ambition was totalizing and authoritarian. So, only with a different flag and justification. So, yeah, I mean, there's no difference. The Jews are going for world domination via the Third International or the Bolshevism or the Soviet Union, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same exact thing. So.